We have officially moved into week 4 of the new season, season 14 Hunted for Apex Legends. We have had our chance to really soak in everything, and now I feel it's appropriate to give my first impressions and really discuss, is season 14 really a filler season? So my name is Flame078, the normal gamer covering Apex Legends, allowing us normie players a place where we can discuss the game, learn how to improve, and most importantly, have fun. So without further ado, let's get right into answering, is Apex Legends Season 14 Hunted a filler season? Let's get to it. Before we get into the question, we must at least at a high level cover everything that has changed, that way we can discuss the implications of said changes. Let's start with Vantage, the new legend to the roster. At a glance, another recon legend with the scanning abilities may sound like a drag, but the reality is, I think Vantage is one of the best new legend releases that we have had in a while, even better than Newcastle, who I thought was also a very good at release. She has been a lot of fun to learn and use. Her mobility is really great, and personally I love that she fits so well with my anchor / support playstyle. Nothing about her kit is extremely overpowered on its own. Her sniper may feel strong, but I think that has to do more so with the shift in the marksman weapon meta, but more on that in a second. Her passive is a great scan ability, as it's not really wall hacks, but a scan that allows information to be gathered. A neat thing about it is without a weapon, you get a zoom, and also the armor display shows up even if the enemy is not in your immediate eye. There have been many instances where I'm looking and I see the indicator pop up before I notice the actual enemy. With effective communication, she has been very fun, and I look forward to using her more in ranked. Now, for the weapon changes, we got Wingman with sniper ammo, Spitfire is now a light gun, Skull Piercer is back, and the G7 and Bolt are back on the ground. All this for me spells a season where the weapon meta truly feels very diverse. Others may disagree, and I will admit, a long range meta seems to be the go-to. However, there is no denying players have tons of options and can be successful in any type of kit they choose. I am usually looking for a go-to, but this season I found myself, once I kind of picked up a weapon, I tend to stick with it throughout the match. For players, that is good, because it is important to feel good in your kit. My personal preferences have always been a 30-30 with either a Volt or a 301, and if I'm up to the challenge, a Wingman 30-30, PK, or even the EVA 8. I feel this season in particular is the best season for weapons, and that feels really good. So one of the more controversial changes that have happened this season is with the ring and the whole med situation. Let's start with the purpose of these changes, which I am assuming is to alleviate some of the pacing issues we have been experiencing in matches. At least that's kind of the feeling I've gotten after playing for a bit this season. The ring closes really fast now, and it starts with ring 2 damage. So this really makes players have to adapt and be really quick with their movement and actions. I feel Edge players may have had a more difficult time with this adjustment, because from my experience, what I've discussed with randoms throughout my game time in season 14 is that typically those players that play Edge play slower. Now, I'm not saying that they're bad or it's a bad thing, but I don't think now it's a good pace to just play slowly like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't have your Edge game. What I'm saying is you have to be much quicker with all your actions. You can't take your time looting, you can't take your time fighting, you can't take your time rotating. Everything about the pacing of a match and your thought process has to be expedited to adjust, especially if you're going to continue playing that Edge style playstyle. You really cannot be dragging out fights like you could, especially with the combination with the low scarcity of meds. The fights that drag on, and if you are not in circle and you're getting caught by the ring, there is a good chance you will die to said ring, even if you win that fight, because you are left in a bad situation. On top of that, an increased chance of being gatekept or even third party is very much prevalent, especially on Kings Canyon. I personally think the changes are healthy, and I'm willing to deal with them for this season. It has shaken up how I drop, how I proceed to think about each match. And I like the weapon meta change that is accompanied with this. Small micro adjustments make the game feel different, and that is not a bad thing in my opinion. Okay, so for ranked, I don't want to get into it too much because I actually have 2 ranked related videos coming in the near future. One reflecting on season 13 and then one going more in depth from the brief highlight of this video. So hey, if you've been enjoying this, you gotta hit that sub button, ladies and gentlemen. The real only major change is the fact that KP is truly uncapped and unlimited. By removing the diminishing RP from the KP you can get, now you can really sort of W key and really get rewarded. On one hand, it does allow the aggressive good players to really get out of the ranks they should not be in fairly quickly, as you can see very easily 300 plus RP games with 7 plus KP. On the other hand, I think it removes the incentive to play endgame. I mean, it is still very punishing to get 6 KP and die before 10th. However, the RP punishment is just not there in that situation. Listen, I have done the math, wink a wink. Those guides are coming this week. So yeah, as you see on screen, yes, hit that sub button, greatly appreciated. Overall, I do think ranked has some flaws, especially with the matchmaking still being busted. And starting this season with Kings Canyon is making everyone miserable. But yeah, I have way more thoughts on this, but for now, I think ranked is better than it was season 12, and the jury is still out on how I feel this season compared to season 13. Let me know your thoughts down below before we get into that discussion. So, is season 14 going to be a filler season? Well, in my opinion, the micro changes taking place, forcing us to think and play differently, are amazing shakeups. I think it opens up a lot more and creates opportunity to enhance Apex. I recommend using this time to really take advantage of the diversity of weapons, work on weaker weapons, as we know things will become staple and meta and sort of be forced upon you to run an XYZ setup. But right now I am not seeing that as strong as it was in previous seasons. The pacing of matches is also getting a bit better. I mean, there's still always going to be this lingering, how can we stop half the lobby dying before ring 1? But the ring and med changes are good because you will need to adapt to a faster pace, and adapting to that pace will allow you to expedite getting better. But these are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know down below and stay tuned as Apex content is resuming. My name is Flame078. Until next time, adios.